Hello and welcome back to the Dog Food Expert Podcast. I'm Alex. Now, Daniel, over our past few episodes, we've talked about all the incredible benefits of fresh feeding. A lot of our listeners are convinced and ready to ditch the dry kibble. But now they are staring at a tub of fresh meat in their fridge, wondering, how do I actually do this without completely ruining my dog's stomach?
Hi Alex, it is the moment of truth. People get very nervous about the transition phase because for years, the back of kibble bags have told us to do a slow 7 to 10 day mix of old food and new food. But when you are switching to a biologically appropriate fresh diet, the rules are entirely different.
So we shouldn't be mixing the old kibble with the new raw meat?
Definitely not. As we discussed in our digestion episode, standard kibble and raw meat digest at completely different speeds. If you mix 50% kibble and 50% raw meat in the same bowl, you cause a massive digestive traffic jam that leads to bloating and diarrhea. For switching from kibble to raw, we highly recommend the straight swap method.
A straight swap? You just stop the kibble one day and start the raw the next?
Essentially, yes. But we still follow what I call the 7-day switch protocol to make sure the gut handles it perfectly.
Okay, let's get really tactical. Break down this 7-day protocol. What happens on day one?
Day one is actually about clearing out the system. We recommend a 12 to 24 hour fast. Just provide plenty of fresh water. You want the slow digesting starchy kibble to completely leave their digestive tract so you have a clean slate. Don't worry, a healthy adult dog won't starve in a day.
Good to know. So the gut is clear. What does the bowl look like on day 2 and day 3?
You want to introduce the new food gently. Don't go straight for a rich, heavy meat like venison or beef. Start with a bland, easily digestible single protein, like plain raw chicken, turkey, or pure green tripe. Feed this simple white meat or tripe for day 2 and day 3.
And what about days 4 to 7?
If their tummy is happy and their stools are firm, this is when you introduce the complete meals that include the richer red meats, the bone content, and the offal like liver and kidney. By day 7, they are fully transitioned onto a normal raw rotation.
That sounds so straightforward. But let's talk about what happens to the dog during this week. I've heard people talk about a detox phase. What does that mean?
Because you are stopping the constant intake of synthetic additives, preservatives, and massive amounts of carbohydrates, the dog's body goes through a natural detox. The first thing you'll notice is their stool. It will become drastically smaller and less smelly, which is great. However, in the first few days you might see a mucus casing around the poop.
That sounds a bit alarming. Is it normal?
Totally normal. It's just the gut shedding the lining that was protecting it from the harsh kibble. You might also notice them drinking significantly less water. Kibble is dehydrated and salty, making dogs incredibly thirsty. Fresh food is 70% moisture, so they get their hydration from their bowl.
Are there any other detox symptoms?
Sometimes dogs might shed a little more dead fur than usual, or have a brief spell of itchy skin as the body pushes out the old toxins. It usually passes very quickly, leaving behind a beautifully soft, glossy coat.
Now, what if someone is switching to cold-pressed dog food instead of raw? Can they do a straight swap too?
Because cold-pressed is so gentle on the gut, many dogs can handle a straight swap. However, if your dog is particularly sensitive, you can actually mix cold-pressed with their old kibble over a week without the same risk of raw meat fermentation. But honestly, the straight swap usually yields the best results.
Fantastic. So, fast for a day, start bland, introduce the rich stuff slowly, and don't panic about the detox poop.
You've got the blueprint, Alex. It's the best week of a dog's life.
Brilliant. Thanks for the tactical guide, Daniel. And good luck to everyone making the switch this week.